Yeah, we're all set.
That's me today.
All right.
I'm Catherine. Hi.
Okay, Catherine.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna get the old Catherine back.
Next 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah, we like the real Catherine better.
We don't like imposters.
You haven't even started.
Give him a chance. Come on, waste of time.
I did at a time do this once. Oh, anyways, let's do roll call. Hetzke,
Here.
Bastian,
Here.
Denoncourt,
Here.
Knauer, here. McCord,
Here.
Tidings,
Here.
me, Valentine,
Here.
Sangster, Weiser.
Here.
Okay, we got some minutes.
2 sets of minutes were provided in the drop. Sorry for the delay it took on the March 12th ones. Those were lengthy. So we have March 12th and March 26th. Both are in the drop. If anyone has questions, concerns, comments,
Like War and
we
Peace.
can entertain.
I'll make the motion to approve March 12th.
I'll second.
All right. I'll let you
Hetzke,
write that down. We can call a vote. Aye.
Bastian,
Aye.
Denoncourt,
Aye.
Knauer,
Aye.
McCord,
Aye.
Tidings.
Aye.
Thank you.
How about
And then
the
we got
March
the
26th?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right.
I was gonna buy a song.
Silencing phones. Hetzke,
Aye.
Bastian,
Aye.
Denoncourt.
Abstain.
Should have known that. Knauer,
Aye.
McCord,
Aye.
Tidings.
I'm familiar with all those applications, so I believe I can say aye. Peter
Okay.
Wish.
Aye, it is.
Aye, it is.
Thank you. We also have 2 table items from previous meetings. First one is 2124 Penfield Road for the Shaws. We have no updates, as we said in the drop. We're still waiting to hear back for responses to comments from the PRC memo, revised maps. They did receive, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but they did receive their approval from the zoning board
Yes.
when they went last month. So we're just waiting on them now. It's been tax season, so I imagine they've been busy.
Okay. Make the motion.
You would hope.
I would hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of the response we got last month. Doug called him.
No, so
He
make
just
the
said-
motion for no action.
Basically,
Table.
to respond.
Continue the table. Yeah. There we go.
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Aye.
Bastian,
Aye.
Denoncourt,
Aye.
Knauer,
Aye.
McCord,
Aye.
Tidings.
Aye.
Thank you. And the other one is the,
2775.
you got it, 2775 Penfield Road, the application that we've been taking no action on because we're waiting for septic. And,
Peter Romeo.
yep, Peter Romeo, waiting to see their perk test, but obviously the ground is still probably frozen underneath there regardless of how wet it is outside.
This says 2775.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's the address. So again, we have no updates from that as we're waiting on them to submit updates.
We could continue to just simply take no action,
Yes.
which is what we will do.
No action is.
Do we have any miscellaneous items?
One miscellaneous item we do have tonight before the board is actually in regards to your May application. We received an application from St. Joe's. They're hoping to come in for preliminary final. Zach, I don't know if you can kind of pop that up. Just wanted to run it by the board. It's an infill. We did an infill project with them a couple years ago. They infilled the courtyard. This is kind of a little bit more of an external infill, but we're looking to consolidate an area, make it an entrance. So the majority of the area is already sidewalk, overhang area, but they're trying to consolidate what's the gym area versus the school side of it versus what's the church side of it, and have one common entrance area. So just wanted to bring it before this board, make sure you guys are comfortable with them coming in as a preliminary final application, or whether you'd rather see them come in as sketch first and then go forward from there.
I think preliminary final is fine for this.
The rest of the board,
Mhm.
comfortable with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be on your May agenda as a preliminary final application. We also received an application from Heathwood. Heathwood is looking to expand their facilities to the north a little bit with that. That one actually is coming in as a sketch plan application because it's more physical improvements on the ground. They got to relocate the fire access lane around it. They'll need some zoning board variances due to the setback from the district boundary, relocation of the sanitary sewer, so there's some additional work with that one, so that'll be a sketch plan on your May agenda.
Okay.
But those are the only miscellaneous items we had this evening.
Any other open business? New business, old business?
No, we have one public hearing tonight, Silverwoods. We'll hear that at 7 o'clock.
All right, so there's still time to get down to the town hall.
Get your tickets.
Phase 6.
Seats available.
You don't have concessions, unfortunately, but
For that,
it should be an exciting
St. Joe's.
event in live
Are we
in
gonna see some
person.
architecturals also for that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It is right across from some residential.
Yep. Yep, they'll come in with architecturals, they'll come in with full-blown plans, floor plans.
You're talking
elevation.
Eastwood.
They're ready to go.
No, I was talking about St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
They
Oh,
already did a
St. Joe.
rendering.
Yeah, they had a rendering with it, but it was just a determination as whether the board wanted to see it as a sketch or you were comfortable with
Going
it.
to the preliminary final.
Since they have,
Did you say they would need variances or just Heathwood?
Just Heathwood.
Yeah.
Heathwood.
Okay. So if we have nothing else, why don't we go into recess until the public hearing at 7. Good evening and welcome to the April 9th, 2015 meeting of the Penfield Planning Board. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We have one item on our agenda tonight. Zach, would you like to read the first item? First and only?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Application number 1, David Cox with Passero Associates, 242 West Main Street, Suite 100, Rochester, New York, 14614, on behalf of Viola Homes, at 780 Ridge Road, Webster, New York, 14580, requests under Articles 3-3-10, 8-8-3, and 9-9-2 of the Code for final site plan, subdivision, and EPOD permit approval to construct 23 single-family residential homes with associated site improvements on a 10.61 acre property located at 1227B 5 Mile Line Road, Webster, New York, 14580. The property is now formally owned by Viola Enterprises LP and is zoned R120. Application number 15P-0008, SBL number 09401-3-23.99. Go ahead, Dave.
Good evening, I'm Dave Cox with Passero Associates. And also with me is Dan Viola and Cosmo Viola of Viola Homes. Like Zach was saying, we're here for final site plan approval, final subdivision approval, and EPOD permit approval. This is phase 6 of the last phase of the Silverwood subdivision. The project is east of Hatch Road, right here. Plank Road is a little bit further down here, so it's north of Plank Road. And then it is west of 5 Mile Line Road, over here. This phase 6 is the last piece, and it connects the road from phase 5 and the road from phase 2, so that it completes the loop. Phase 6 is, like you were saying, is 23 lots on 10.64 acres. Phase 6 is exactly the same as was on the preliminary approval. Same exact lot sizes, same lot lines, didn't change any of that. Drainage for the overall project was designed to flow to this major stormwater pond here, and phase 6 is following the same protocol as the preliminary design, and that most of it flows towards the center. There's a low point here, and there's a main storm sewer that runs in between these lots that dumps into this existing pond. So it was all designed as part of the original application to handle this, and we're not changing that at all. That's staying as is, as was designed originally. There is no EPODs except for a woodlot EPOD, which is down in this corner. And we are disturbing approximately 1/4 of an acre. So we're seeking approval and permit for that. There's no floodplain, there's no wetlands, there's no environmental sensitive areas. We went out there and did test pits to determine bedrock elevation, and bedrock is anywhere between 8 to 12 feet below grade. So it doesn't look like we're gonna have to get into the bedrock at all. We put our sewer kind of right on top of it and put all the house pads up so that it'll be out of the bedrock as well. The project will have continuation of street lighting, just like in the other phases, and also we'll continue with the street trees, 2 per lot. We are requesting a sidewalk waiver, as did the other phases, and this being the last phase, there's no sidewalk to tie into, so we're continuing with that request for a sidewalk waiver. Construction hours will be from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have received the PRC comments. Most of them are technical in nature. We've met with Mark Valentine to discuss them and agreed upon solutions for those. Like I said, this is the last piece of the puzzle. It feels good to put that last piece in, make the complete picture here. It's pretty straightforward. That's about it. And I can take any questions.
Okay. Bob, do you want to get started?
Yes, I had a couple of quick questions. These were based on some of the PRC comments, and I don't know if there was a formal response to those comments, but the first, are there any walkout basements
No.
in the plan? Okay. And then addressing, there was a comment on the side and rear swales. If they met, do any of those, are any of those under a 2% minimum slope?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we met with Mark Valentine over, and we're going to revise some of the rear yard swales and grade things differently so that we meet that 2%.
So the 2% will be met on that?
Right.
Okay. Okay, that's all I really had.
Okay, so obviously you're in receipt of the PRC comments. And
Yes.
the other comments, can address them. Any other comments from the?
Just
from the board?
one, they're going to be all similar homes to what's present in the other phases, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Looks nice.
Anyone else on the board? Anyone in the audience care to comment on this application?
There was talk of patio homes being built.
Sir, if you could just come up and introduce yourself and give us your name and address for the record, that would be terrific.
Yes, it's Mark Barna. I live at 38 Pewter Rock, which is the old Phase 2. I was curious if there was going to be patio homes built in this tract. They can answer that.
Okay. Yep, we can have them answer that.
There will be no patio
No
homes.
patio homes? Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the audience like to speak to this application? Anyone else from the board?
Have we seen any Conservation Board comments yet?
I don't.
I can answer that. I can answer that for you. This application was not reviewed by the Conservation Board as it had its preliminary overall approvals for the whole subdivision.
All right.
Okay, any other comments? All right, thank you very much for your presentation. We will call this meeting closed.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Any concerns? I see no input from the neighbors. Zach and I did sit with the developer yesterday. He came in, sat down with us, went through the PRC comments. We came up with a common solution to all the questions we had. So they're going to remediate those, revise the drawings, but all of those were technical in nature, catch basin locations, catch basin next to a driveway, that type of stuff. So there was no, I saw as wholesale showstoppers or deterrents to moving forward. We did provide a draft approval template in your drop this past week. You guys are leaning that way. Also had a Part 2 AAF as well. I don't know if the board has anything additional or concerns after the hearing of additional things we need to include. The developer did share with me they had submitted a sidewalk waiver request. He shared with me that he did get previous approval for 5 and 6, so he found that in his records. We were going to take that to the town board as a waiver, but if that was previously granted, that's one less item he needs to wrap up.
Right.
Typical easements, we'll have easements for storm and sanitary. If it is the sidewalk waiver, we don't have that. Outside of the normal EPOD, there's a small piece of EPOD woodland in the corner that'll be impacted. Asked them to revise the tree line to reflect that. And their engineer Dave Cox shared that it was about a quarter of an acre of EPOD disturbance in that. They will need to comply with the street tree policy and plant trees. We'll get some trees back into the development as well. So the tree loss or the portion of tree loss in the corner, as they plant the street trees back in, will help to supplement that as well.
Okay.
Anything else, Zach? Do you have any other?
Covered easements, street tree policy, woodlot, sidewalk waiver.
No.
The 2%.
Great.
split,
Yeah,
right?
they're-
The
they're
grade,
revising-
that's all
That was
part
one
of
of the
it, too.
technical issues that we discussed with
They're
them
revising the grading
previously in the week.
to correct that.
And,
Extension of the lighting district.
I'll have to check, but I would assume we would have done it for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think we did talk to Mark.
Sewer district would have been all included in the preliminary overall. We'll verify that, but it should have been, have no DOT permits, no state or county. Those are out. We received minor county comments. Those were very generic in nature. There's nothing in there. We didn't send it to the conservation board because this was an extension of preliminary overall. It already has, the roadways already kind of cut in there. They're preserving trees at the buffer area where they can.
We'll be
But it's
doing
really
all
not
the
a-
connections from one phase to the from 5 to 2 all at once.
PRC didn't have a whole lot of concerns. Obviously, the fire marshal is happy. He's got his additional interconnections in the neighborhood.
Right.
Again, same as highway, they don't have dead end streets to plow now, so they have full loops to connect. So EPW is happy.
Okay. Want to move it?
Yeah. So I'll motion to approve the EAF.
I'll second it.
The other sheet.
All right, Zach, whenever you're ready, or Catherine, or whenever you want to call it.
Whichever name you want to call me today.
Wherever you want to be today.
Come up with
Is that
one of
cat?
those
There we go. Just combine everything. Hetzke,
combination
Yeah.
names.
Aye.
Bastion,
Aye.
Denoncourt,
Aye.
Knauer,
Aye.
McCord,
Aye.
Tidings.
Aye.
And for the approval resolution,
Yeah. Motion to approve the draft
conditions?
resolution.
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Aye.
Bastion,
Aye.
Denoncourt,
Aye.
Knauer,
Aye.
McCord,
Aye.
Tidings.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you for those.
We'll send
Good
you
seeing you.
Good luck.
the pre-Mylar information, easement templates, letter of credit stuff. You've been through it before, but we'll get the resolution out to you guys next week once we make sure we get in all the stuff with easements and everything else. So we'll get that to you next week and
No problem.
tune on to the next phase.
Good. Thanks.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
My name
you.
is Cosmo Viola.
Nice to meet you. I'm AJ Hetzke.
I've been here a long time, in the town of Penfield. So I do the best I can.
Yeah, looks good.
We looked at a
Thank you,
house
sir.
when
Looks good.
we were looking a long time ago.
Thank you. Good luck.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
See you.
Okay. 4 more minutes, and then I win.
Well, actually, you win. I don't
You
think
win
anybody,
anyway.
You're still
anybody,
closest to
Well,
the
you're
under.
live, so.
because we can go 5 now if you don't win. What can we talk about?
That's all the pending
Nice.
items. Let's say we'll get you the drop items for March. We do have 2 agenda items
For May.
on your.
Don't time travel again.
I did that earlier today. I'm off. I'm not going backwards. For May, so you do have 2 public hearing items in May. We'll get those to you in your next drop.
Okay,
Thank
so if we don't have any comments back from either of the 2 open tabled applications, we potentially should consider.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any items before you, so.
At the work session.
If we don't receive any materials for the 2 currently tabled items before the board by your drop next Friday, consider that the deadline to getting the materials out to you guys, so you have enough time to review them. If we don't have them by next Friday, we'll send out a notice that obviously the board has nothing to discuss. We'll
Cancel the meeting.
cancel the meeting, the proper notifications on the website and with the town clerk.
Okay,
So we'll let you guys know if we hear, if we get anything.
all right, I
Hey,
guess
we-
we will. We've got
Just
one more.
one quick question. Are we any closer to having the zoning rewritten? Your
General code,
General code.
Yeah. the new
I'm
code?
hoping to hit send on the final revised copy tomorrow.
Really?
They
It
sent
still
us
has to come back to the town board. They sent us a copy of it back in late February. We got it, all department heads have been reviewing it. We have some minor comments back to them based on what the codification they did originally. They did a great job. Sat down with the town attorney and the town supervisor last Friday, ran through that. I just need to pull all that together, send it back to general code tomorrow. However long it takes them to make those revisions, get it back to us, then the town board set a public hearing. We have to have a public hearing on it, and then it's up to the town board for adoption after that. So it could be the next month or 2.
Well,
So we're getting
Good.
close.
nice. Okay, anything else? Say goodnight, Gracie. Guess we will adjourn.
Thank you,
Where
board.
do I pick up my prize?